Everyone, my name is Jen Hinley. I'm starting this channel as a sort of way to document my journey to walking again. About 2.5 years ago, January of 2018, I unfortunately shattered my left heel. I had surgery a week later. Unfortunately, that did not go as planned, so it required a new surgeon and a second surgery. That September, I ended up needing a subtalar fusion due to arthritis. And in the midst of that, my foot had been turning black, and I had been experiencing these pretty severe bouts of pain. Felt like I was being burned and skinned alive and stabbed. It was horrific. And so the doctor couldn't figure out why I was still in so much pain. I couldn't walk still. And so we decided that we would go up to Hershey Med to see a specialist and see if they could figure out what was going on. And so I went up there and met with a Dr. Ainardi, who is amazing. And he discovered that all the previous surgeries had healed incorrectly, unfortunately. So, almost a year ago to this date, I had a major reconstruction of that foot. He ended up needing to undo the subtalar fusion, take the screws out, take all my hardware out, and saw my heel in half, then take bone and marrow from my hip as well as cadaver bone and make sort of like a heel sandwich that then he put a screw through to hold that in place. He also did a scope of my ankle, which was blood red from inflammation that the previous surgeon said, oh no, your ankle shouldn't hurt. Well, it did. And then he also partially fused my arch. So during that recovery, I once again was experiencing these ridiculous bouts of pain, like to the point where, I thought I was going to die. Like it was just unreal. And nothing we did would help. And so my foot specialist sent me to a pain management doctor who immediately diagnosed me with CRPS, which is chronic regional pain syndrome, type 1. Just by the blackish look of my foot and the sensitivity of my skin and the pain that I described, it was pretty clear cut in terms of diagnosis. And he wanted to try a sympathetic nerve block to see if that would help. The first one didn't help. The second one, unfortunately, spread my CRPS. CRPS does tend to spread, so I guess it was about 48 hours after that block, I woke up 2 days later with a fever and just in excruciating pain. And so by that night, my fever just kept going up and up and up. And so they rushed me to Hershey Med, where I spent the next 10 days trying to get the pain under control, as the CRPS had spread to my entire body from the lumbar region down. Unfortunately, not even 200 milligrams of oxy a day even touched the pain, just for sort of reference. So after 10 days, they were about to ship me off to a nursing home because I was so weak. But I was taken in by a hospital rehab that unfortunately was incredibly neglectful and abusive, Still sort of traumatized from that, but, I've gotten past it a bit, I guess. I came home 2 days before Thanksgiving this past year, and after that it was gearing up because in the background we had been starting the process of having me have a trial for a spinal cord stimulator. So at the end of January, I had my trial, and it was incredibly successful. Before the trial, I could not sit up even, let alone, I couldn't do anything. I'm still in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair right now. But it was very successful. But as soon as the trial wire came out, the pain returned. I then went to see a neurosurgeon in Lancaster, Dr. Mark Fulowski, who is incredible. And on February 27th of this year, I had the Boston Scientific 32 contact paddle placed into my spine, and it has worked wonders. I have basically cut my pain medication in, I'm probably taking a quarter of what I was. Basically, I am pain free with the exception of some back pain from the surgical site because they do have to perform a laminectomy to place the paddle. And I also, that foot is still very, very painful. And so I sought out a new pain management doctor who changed my diagnosis to CRPS type 2, which means there's nerve involvement, which sort of was a no-brainer because I have so many scars and have so many, incisions made in my foot and in my leg that there was bound to be nerve damage. And so he did a diagnostic block in a couple of the scars where he could sort of tell that there were nerves trapped, and it worked. And so in about 36 hours, I will be headed out to the surgery center to have something called a Sprint peripheral nerve stimulator implanted temporarily in my upper left leg behind my knee. It's the dual lead system. It'll go along my sciatic nerve, and it will hopefully provide some long-lasting relief after that 60-day period. Really don't know. There's about a 75% chance that it works. They use it a lot for phantom limb pain and stuff like that. But so we're hoping that works. But if not, then we are gonna look into other options. But so, I've sort of gone into this whole thing blindly, and I know CRPS is not a common thing. I know spinal cord stimulation and all this other, electric stuff is pretty new. And so my goal with this channel is sort of just to serve as a guide and be the person I sort of wish I had to sort of show me the ropes as far as, this is what this is going to be like, or, what you're going to expect. So for all of you who are going to follow me on this journey, thank you very much. I will try my best to keep up with videos, and I hope you're having a good day. See ya.